All right, let's talk about something real. You know that space between the person you want to be and the person you actually are day to day? Well, that little gap, it might just be the single biggest thing holding you back. So today we're going to dig into what it is and, way more importantly, how you can start to close it for good. Okay, just think about this past week for a second. Seriously, how many times did you break a little promise to yourself? Maybe it was swearing you'd hit that 5:30 a.m. workout, but then snooze button. Or you promised no more sugar, and then suddenly you're at the bottom of a bag of cookies. Look, we all do it. But what we don't always realize is that these tiny broken promises, they have a real and pretty significant cost. You know that quiet little whisper of disappointment you feel right after? That nagging feeling in your gut? A lot of us just write that off as, stress or anxiety, or maybe just a case of low self-esteem. But here's the thing. Those feelings aren't the actual problem. They're just the symptoms. They're the cough, the fever. The real illness, well, that's something much, much deeper. So what is this illness? It's something called the integrity gap. And right away, let's be clear, this has nothing to do with morality or being a good or bad person, not at all. A better way to think about it is like the structural integrity of a building. So put simply, the integrity gap is just the distance between who you say you want to be, your values, and who you actually are, your actions. It's the space between your best intentions and your real-life behavior. And that gap, it's not just empty space. Oh no, it's actively draining you, charging this hidden tax on your mental energy, day in and day out. Here's a great way to picture it. Think of your mind as a company. Your aspirations, your big goals, that's the CEO in the corner office, setting this brilliant, inspiring strategy. We will be fit. We will be focused. But then your actual day-to-day actions, they're like the employees down on the factory floor, completely ignoring the memo. You've got this internal civil war going on, and it is absolutely exhausting. It's exactly why you can feel so incredibly busy all day, but at the end of it, feel like you got nothing meaningful done. Okay, to really get a handle on the true cost of this gap, we need to talk about a bank account. And trust me, it's probably the most important one you'll ever manage. Welcome to your self-trust bank account. The rules here are super simple. Every single time you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how small, that's a deposit. And every time you break one, that's a withdrawal. The currency here isn't cash, though. It's confidence. Now here's the crucial part. This is the real kicker. In this bank, withdrawals are always bigger than deposits. See, breaking a promise doesn't just mean you missed a chance to add confidence. It actively destroys the confidence you've already built. That one little decision to hit snooze cost you way more in self-trust than the 10-minute walk you promised yourself would have ever earned you. And when your self-trust account gets overdrawn, well, your inner voice starts to sound a little something like this. This is the sound of being mentally and emotionally bankrupt. It is literally the definition of low self-esteem, and it's fueled by a long, long history of making withdrawals. Okay, that's the diagnosis. It might sound a little bleak, but here's the good news. How do we fix it? How do you start making deposits again, especially when you feel like you're totally bankrupt? Well, the answer isn't some huge, overwhelming change. It's much simpler. It's about starting with a single, tiny deposit. You do this with something called a micro commitment, and I mean micro. This is a promise to yourself that is so small it feels almost impossible to fail. We're not talking, I'm gonna run a marathon. No, we're talking, I'm gonna put on my running shoes and tie the laces. That's it. See, the goal isn't the big outcome. The goal is the act of keeping the promise itself. You're not training to be a runner right now. You're training to trust yourself again. The whole system is called closing the loop, and it's just 3 simple steps. Step 1, make a tiny promise. Step 2, do the thing. No negotiating, no drama, just do it. And then step 3, and this is so important, don't skip this. You have to consciously acknowledge the win. Just say to yourself, out loud or in your head, I did what I said I was going to do. Boom. That's what seals the deal and locks in that deposit. All right, so once you get in the habit of making these small, daily deposits, you can start to build something bigger. A system that actually protects your newfound self-trust and kind of puts your integrity on autopilot. Look, we all try to rely on willpower, but it's a terrible long-term strategy. Why? Because it's a finite resource, like a muscle that gets tired. And it's especially weak when you're tired or hungry or stressed out. We've all been at that compromised crossroad, right? That moment of weakness where you just give in. You need a better system for those moments than just hoping you'll be strong enough. And that system? It's your personal rule book. This is basically a list of your non-negotiables. Think of them like pre-decided policies for your life. When you have a clear rule like, I am in bed by 10:30 on weeknights, no exceptions, it completely eliminates that nightly debate with yourself. It automates the decision and frees up a ton of mental energy that you were wasting on negotiation. But, of course, life happens, right? You're human. You are absolutely 100% going to break a rule at some point. And when that happens, it's not a sign that the whole system is broken or that you're a failure. Not at all. It's just data. The only question that matters is, what are you going to do with that data? What you do is you conduct a blameless autopsy, okay? Instead of beating yourself up, you get curious. Step 1, just state the facts. No drama, no motion. I stayed up past my bedtime. Step 2, analyze the root cause. Why? Step 3, extract the lesson. What did I learn? And 4, the most important part, implement a fix. Maybe you create a new, smarter rule. This whole process turns what feels like a failure into fuel for getting better. So, what's the big payoff for all this work? What's the dividend? Well, when you consistently close that gap, when you keep making deposits and you learn from your slip-ups, that internal civil war we talked about, it ends. And the peace dividend? Oh, it's absolutely massive. Just think for a second about all the mental energy you currently spend on guilt, on shame, on just negotiating with yourself all day long. When you finally close the integrity gap, all of that energy gets freed up. We're talking about getting back something like 30 to 40% of your brain power. That is pure rocket fuel for creativity, for focus, for just being present in your own life. What you get from all this is a truly unshakable confidence. And I don't mean that loud, chest-thumping kind of confidence. This is different. It's quiet. It's deep. It's grounded. It's not the confidence that you're always going to win or succeed. It's the confidence that you can handle anything that comes your way because you finally, truly trust yourself to show up and do the right thing, win or lose. And what's really amazing is that this internal work doesn't just stay inside you. It naturally radiates outward. It translates into what you might call integrated leadership, whether you have a fancy title or not. People just feel safer around you. They trust you. You start to inspire them, not with big speeches, but with the quiet, powerful consistency between who you say you are and what you actually do. Because in the end, this daily practice of keeping tiny promises, of closing these small gaps, that's what culminates in your legacy. It's really not about the titles you collect or the money you make. It's about the echo of your character in the lives of the people you touch. So the only question left to ask yourself is, what kind of echo do you want to leave behind?